What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes, here, back with another action figure review. And as you guys can see, we are fresh off the release of the movie with the Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse of Madness. SHF just dropped this figure, and today we're going to be seeing what it's all about. So let's go ahead and dive right into it, starting off with that sexy packaging. Now, Doctor Strange normally comes with more accessories than the average MCU figure, and it's mostly because of all the hand gestures and the magical abilities that he has. And I'm okay with that. As you guys can see, we got a small window right here that's kind of like circular. We got Tamashii Nation's quality sticker of approval right there, SHF, a dope image of him right there. I really like that. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Tamashii Nation's Bandai. Same kind of stuff at the top. At the bottom, you got, I don't know what this is, you got an image of the figure right there. Doctor Strange, once again, image of the figure right here along this side, full body image. And on this side, it just says Doctor Strange again. And then, of course, on the back, you do have some poses you can get the figure into, as well as all the legal stuff at the bottom that nobody cares about. So that being said, let's go ahead and bust this figure open because I'm pretty excited for it. Now, don't get it twisted. Just because I am coming off of the hype of the movie, that doesn't mean that this is going to be a perfect figure for me, because straight out of the package, I will say that I do have a few problems with this figure. Some of them I already knew before I got it, just because I did see a review of this figure once it was released in Japan. I'm going to go ahead and knock the problems out of the way first. Therefore, everything else is just me diving into what I like. And the more problems will come if there are more problems. But first off, I do not like this cape, man. This, I don't know what it is. Tamashii Nations sometimes just horribly executes capes, and this is just poor decision making altogether. I thought that the last Doctor Strange figure they made, they used poor decisions when it came to making the cape, but this is bad, man. Like, it's not sitting on his shoulders, and it's because it's removable, but you've got these pins right here that make it look like you can get it to stick, and you cannot. It just kind of looks like it's sitting on his shoulder, and there's nothing holding it in place. And that just makes the look of this kind of weird. I don't like that at all. I really wish that they would have fixed that. Now, yeah, you can glue it down, but then what are you going to do if you want to pose him without the cape? Because he did take his cape off quite a few times in the movie. That's not a spoiler. It's in the trailer. But, yeah. And the second problem I have, the face sculpt. It's not bad. Don't get me wrong. It still looks like the actor, but it does not look nearly as good as the Infinity War version. And I don't know how they dropped the ball on that. Maybe it's because they made the head a little bit bigger. The older figure was a tad bit on the small side. This figure is bigger. So I guess they decided to up the proportions. I don't know. But the head, it doesn't look bad. Don't get me wrong. It just does not look as good as the Infinity War version. That one, in my opinion, was almost perfect. This one still looks good, just not nearly as good. But anyway, on to the rest of the figure. First off, details. They always kill it with Doctor Strange. The details are there. That's one thing I will forever give to Tamashii Nations. I love the look of the cape. I just don't like the design of the cape. I'm not a fan of this at all in terms of how they have it on here. But when it comes to all the sculpted detail for the outfit, as you guys can see, he's got the necklace. I don't remember what it's called. So yeah, the sculpt work for the hair looks really nice. The outfit, whole bunch of different kinds of details on there. Sculpt work for the clothing, all the way down, a bunch of different colored blues. You've got a lighter blue, darker blue, got some reds in there. Even the sculpt work on this small little sash here, as you can see, there's a bit of sculpt work right there, and then line work down there. They just did a really good job when it came to making this figure pop. I really like what they did with the boots also. And I just said this, but I want to mention it again. This figure is definitely taller than the last Doctor Strange that they released. That one was way too small, and I think the actor who plays him is about 6 feet tall. So hopefully this fits in scale a little bit better with the MCU figures that I will show it to later on in the video. But overall, figure looks pretty good. We've got the problems out of the way, so let's get into the other stuff. And since it's on my mind because I just did it, if you want to make this figure taller, he does have the drop down leg method where you can pull on the legs and make him a tad bit taller. And I'm probably going to keep it that way. But yes, you can do that with this figure. So yeah, just food for thought. Now, for the height of this figure to the top of his head, as you guys can see, he's actually a little bit over 6 inches. So I think that's really good for an SHF. And if you actually do his big boy pull up where you pull the legs down a bit to get him to stand taller, let's see. If you do that, he actually stands almost close to 6.5. And I think that's good. I'm going to leave it like that the majority of the time that I'm posing it. So that's really freaking good. Now moving on to the articulation, he looks up very, very well, but depending on how you angle it, that neck can look very long, so be careful with that. He looks down very well, chin can pretty much touch the chest. He does get really good tilt, and I realized why he looked up so much is because I was pulling the head off. But if you do it normally, he looks up about that much, which is still really good. I didn't know that the head was on this kind of peg, so yeah, there we go. Information for both of us. Arms go up and out that much, and once again, that gives you that silly cape look that I just absolutely do not like. As far as the bicep swivel, it is built into the shoulder. That does cause a bit of hindrance, but yeah, nothing you can do about it. Butterfly joints, not so much. You can bring them in, you just kind of got to work with it. That's about as much as you can bring his hands in. It's not going to go any further than that. Single jointed elbow with double jointed range. So you can pretty much get his hand to touch the back of his head. If you wanted it to, you just got to maneuver it right. Hands, of course, are going to be on the typical ball peg. It's a little bit smaller than usual for SHF, but I mean, it still works, so I'm not going to complain. He does not have a diaphragm joint, only a waist joint, where he leans back about that much, leans forward about that much, does get swivel, all that good stuff, tilt and turn. You can move this guy all around. These are a very soft plastic, but it is double plastic because you've got this part right here of the sash, and then you've got more underneath. Now, as I said earlier, the legs are dropped down, so you can get him to kick out about that much. I don't think I've ever seen Doctor Strange kick anybody, but if he wanted to, he could kick somebody in the face, no problem. Well, the figure can. I don't know about Doctor Strange himself. But anyway, he can do the splits about that much. He does have a built-in thigh swivel. Doesn't kick back too much. This is a harder plastic than the front. So yeah, as far as the knee goes, single jointed knee, almost double jointed range. Not entirely. But as you can see, this piece is touching this piece. So it's not like you should expect it to go any further. He does not have any kind of boot swivel. Foot goes down about that much, up about that much. Decent ankle rocker, not the best, much better than the Infinity War version, but still not the best. I wish you could get a little bit more. Seems like it goes outward more than inward, which is weird, but okay. And then he does have a toe hinge as well. So articulation wise, I mean, I feel like you could probably get most of the Doctor Strange poses that you need, but it still leaves a little bit to be desired. As far as the cape goes, it does have bendy wire in it, but it's so heavy that it's not going to sit up. And then there's nothing holding the front up either, so it's just kind of going to flop all over the place. This cape is very disappointing, I'll be honest. Now, when it comes to accessories for this figure, you don't get any alternate faces, which I kind of wish you did, but Doctor Strange is pretty expressionless, especially throughout this movie, so it makes sense that they didn't throw in anything else. As far as hands go, you do get a pair of fist hands, you get a pair of relaxed hands, you get another pair of relaxed hands, you get a pair of palming magic hands, you get another pair of palming hands that are not magic effects. Well, you're not supposed to use them for that, but yeah, you get a pair of Spider-Man thwipping hands, you get a pair of gang sign hands. No, I'm just playing, more magic, I don't know what these are for, but yeah, you get one hand, which is him with brass knuckles on. No, I don't know, I really don't know what this is, I forgot. I know he used it in the movie, but I don't remember, man, I only saw it once, it was a 2-hour movie. And then you get a pair of fist hands, which are also used for magic effects. Now, as far as the magic effects go, you do get these two right here. These are the only ones that you get. As you can see, they're like this translucent orange plastic, which These are different than the Infinity War versions. I do wish they would have threw in the green ones, but I don't think that he used them. So, I mean, how could they? I love how they make it to where you always have to have all of their figures in order to get the crazy amount of accessories that they supply, even though they re-release figures 100 different times. But you do get this dope snake effect. This I really like. I really, really like this. And I can think of a figure I would actually use this with if Tamashii Nations ends up making him in the future. Real ones already know without me saying. But I like this a lot. This is dope. Now, I'm going to consider the cape as being an accessory just because, man, personally, I think the figure looks better without it. As you can see, I did take it off. And it just looks better to me. Honestly, I think this is how I will probably pose this Doctor Strange like 90% of the time. And also, you do get this stand that, this is what you use to support the snake whenever he's using it. As you can see in the promo images, I'm probably not going to take this out. That's too much work. I don't feel like dealing with that. But yeah, you do get a stand for the snake. And then lastly, you do get this back piece right here that you plug on for whenever he does not have the cape on. And I'll put it on backwards. It's not one to go in. That's what she said. Yeah, I hear that. And now I dropped it. So yeah. Now moving on to size comparisons. This is where I got to say I give this figure props, because it shows Tamashii Nations is slowly starting to scale their figures up, and I'm so happy about that. Here he is standing next to all Marvel Legends. We have America Chavez right here. We have Wong right here, and then we have the alternate costume Doctor Strange right here. And as you can see, he's standing pretty much eye to eye with all of them, and that makes me really, really happy. It just shows that Tamashii Nations is going all in with all their new releases. Now, once again, working to my satisfaction, here he is standing next to two Mafex figures. We have the Mafex Spider-Man Homecoming, and as you can see, he's taller than him as he's supposed to be. And then we have him standing almost eye to eye with the in-game Captain America. And we all know Mafex scales their figures better than SHF. And here they are standing eye to eye. So once again, kudos to SHF for this. And of course, I had to throw in the SHF. I believe this is Infinity War Wanda, because, I mean, you guys know by the trailer. She's in the movie. If you don't, then, I mean, well, you know now. Here he is standing next to some more SHF Avengers. We do have the Mark IV War Machine. We have the solo movie Black Widow. And of course, the Guardians of the Galaxy Quill, who is absolutely too small. I really hope they give us an updated version of him when the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 movie releases. And lastly, for some random extras, here he is standing next to the SHF Ant-Man and Wasp Ant-Man. We have the SHF Avengers Infinity War Bucky, who is my favorite character. And of course, we have the SH Figuarts Shang-Chi, who is also way too small. Hopefully we get an updated version of him as well, because he's a dope character, and I can't wait to see where he goes next in the MCU. Now, for my final thoughts on this figure, I do have to say that this, in my opinion, is the Doctor Strange figure that is close to perfect, at least when it comes to SHF. Because, yeah, some of the other ones came with a few more accessories, but this one, the scale is perfect. The head sculpt is fine. I love all the extra hands and everything that he comes with, and I think that this is the perfect body. They got the height and everything correct. All the proportions seem like they're exactly what they're supposed to be. He is lacking in the accessories department. Yes, I do wish that he came with some of the old ones, but I mean, technically he didn't use a lot of that in the movie. And I think that they pretty much gave him what he did use, because this is Doctor Strange going up against an enemy who is really giving him a run for his money. And a lot of stuff that he tried to use just wasn't going to work. And I will say, guys, if you hadn't seen the movie, go check it out. I am definitely going to be watching it again. I don't know when, but I for sure plan on seeing this movie again. It's a very good movie, and this figure captures exactly what it needs to. I love the look of the figure. The cape, it's basura. The cape is trash. I'm just going to tell y'all that right now. I really just don't like to dog Tamashii Nations like that, but they got to do better, man. They have got to do better, because if the cape on this figure was good, this would be a solid 9.5 out of 10 for me. I could work with the fact that he comes with only a few accessories, because you can mix and match accessories from the older Doctor Strange figures, or if you have any Marvel Legends, whatever you want to do, you can mix them up to give him all kinds of abilities and things, all kinds of crazy techniques. We do have the Mafex that's going to be coming out at some point. We don't know. I want to say soon, but then it'll get pushed back another 3 months. So we don't know. But this could be the perfect Doctor Strange. Now, without the cape, I think it is the perfect Doctor Strange. I love this thing. Honestly, I was planning on just reviewing it, and then I was probably going to get rid of it. But nah, I'm keeping this guy in my collection. I do really like it a lot, despite the issues that I have with it. So that being said, that's my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That always helps me out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload new content. And lastly, follow me on everything you see listed in the description below to keep up with my activity outside of YouTube. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe wherever you are, and bye. Go get this figure.